I guess you could say my uncle was kind of a dad figure, but he wasn't the best role model. But he was pretty close. She was running around with her friends, was partying, drinking, doing that stuff. It was hard growing up without dad. I mean, everyone wants that big, happy family, you know, and I wanted that too. Ever since I was little, I would dream about having a big family, you know. And my grandparents raised me pretty much my whole life. And then my grandma Linda, she was there when I was born. She helped me first, and so did my grandmother before my mom did, which is really crazy. I didn't really grow up in a church family. I was christened at a Catholic church in Loving, New Mexico. I was about 2 years old when they christened me, which I didn't really know at the time. I was really young. And then after a while, my grandma Oga, she became a Christian, and I was about, I want to say 10 years old, about the time we started going to a Spanish church. And I got baptized there when I was about 10 years old, and I didn't really know what that meant. I thought that I could just do anything I wanted to. I didn't have to follow the rules. I didn't have to go to church every Sunday. I didn't have to read the Bible. I didn't have to do certain things. By the time I was 11, I moved to Carlsbad with my grandma. And then my grandma Jean passed away, which was my grandma Linda's mother. She was my best friend and my grandmother, you know, and I loved her dearly. That was really hard. That was a really tough time for my grandma even. They were really close, you know, just like a mother and daughter should be. She just wanted to get away. She wanted to start somewhere new and have a new church family. Not necessarily move away from everyone else, but just to start something new. One of her friends moved to Reynosa, New Mexico, and that's where she went. And she started working at Denny's and doing that stuff, and then I think it was Gina who invited her to church one Sunday, and she started going. And then after a couple years, so I think I was 12, I came up here, met the church family, and I wasn't really worried about God or that kind of things. I was really certain at that time of my life. I was just so angry at God for some reason, because my life wasn't the best at the time. You know, my mom was trying to keep me from my grandmother, and custody rights, and they were fighting in court. And it took about a year until I moved up here, and I was 14 years old. And then things kind of got better, but not in a way that I wanted them to be. I didn't have a father. I didn't know anyone, you know. I just had my grandmother. And then I came to First Baptist Church one Sunday, and the pastor was talking about being saved. And he was saying, well, what does it mean to you? And I didn't know at the time. I didn't really worry about that. I knew I was baptized, so I thought I was good, clean. And then he said, if you don't get saved, you go to hell. And I thought, I don't want to go there. I don't. So I started reading my Bible, started picking it back up. Maybe a few months after that Sunday, I came back, and I was living up here and just got registered into the Reynosa Middle School, and I was going to school. And he was asking, at the end of the service, he'll ask you, you know, do you want to be saved? Like, if you want to be a Christian, really. At the end of the service, he said to come down here and have a prayer, you know. And I walked down the aisle, and that's when I really said, stop, you know, whoa, this is real, you know. I want to be that. I want to be a good person, a good Christian, read my Bible, and be able to go and live forever with God, you know. A little bit later, he was doing a follow-up with me to get baptized, and he said, can you remember this scripture for me? And it was John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. And that stuck with me from day one. I still remember that. I still remember that exact day where he said, this is where you're really beginning to be a Christian. I was getting into the Bible. I was trying to read it all the time. I was so committed to that. And then I got baptized the following Sunday. The only person I really wanted to be there was my father, and that's what hurt the most. I looked up and it's like he wasn't there, and I know he wasn't there. I found hope that he would be there someday, and it may not be the day, it may not be tomorrow, but he'll be there. My dad's coming home. They said, I'll be out in a couple weeks. He has to go to a halfway house, and but he's gonna be free. And like just hearing that was the happiest moment of my life. When he got off that plane, we saw him literally walk off that plane into freedom, into just being home. It was just the greatest moment of my life. He came down those stairs, and the first thing he said to us, don't cry, because it's a happy time, and we're going to be together as a family. I was already in tears. I was just so overwhelmed and excited. I mean, it was awesome to see him come home. And we walked out of there. You're here now. I am Moyette IAS, and I am second.